midnight every night.
So when we were growing up, it was like that.
Well, too many.
It always reminded me of that movie, The
honor
Chair.
classes and stuff.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I call to order the 9 September meeting of the Sierra Vista City Council. Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Rick Mueller,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Rachel Gray,
Present.
Councilmember William Benning,
Present.
Councilmember Gregory Johnson,
Present.
Councilmember Angelica Landry,
Present.
Councilmember Mark Rodriguez,
Present.
Councilmember Carolyn Umphrey.
Present.
Mr. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Mrs. Adams. We'll start as we usually do with the invocation and pledge. Tonight, the invocation will be led by Pastor Greg Rolls of the God is Good Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Ms. Landry. Please rise.
Bow your hearts with me. Father God, as we come to you in the name of Jesus, we want to give you thanks that you are our God. We want to thank you, God, for being on our side and answering our prayers. As we ask you to bless the United States of America, we ask you to bless this city of Sierra Vista. As we ask you to bless all our leaders, Father, we ask you to bless our mayor, Mayor Pro Temp, our city council members, all those positions of power, authority, and leadership right now. God, that they would use wisdom as they would lead and guide this community, Father. Lord, they swore an oath to this community, to us, the citizens of Sierra Vista, Lord, to act fairly, law and dignity and respect. Lord, let no backdoor deals be done. Let nothing crooked be brought to forth right now, God. Touch their hearts right now, God, that they would always desire to do the right thing. Bless them on the job and bless them at home with their families, Lord. Lord, as we thank you for their service, Lord, we pray that they would always remember, Lord, to stand by the Constitution of the United States and the Arizona Constitution, to always do what's right and perfect. And Lord, to always stand for the citizens and to do justice. Bless this time. Bless their meeting. Give them wisdom, knowledge, understanding, insight. Give them direction and guidance. Touch and be with them right now. Keep them safe and protected in all they say and do. And Lord, let all they say and do be pleasing in your sight, as this city would be a light to others who are around it. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Thank you, Pastor, and thank you, Dr. Landry. We now go on to item number 1, Mr. Rodriguez.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the agenda for the regular city council meeting of September 9, 2021 be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments, questions? No discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. We next go on to the city manager's report. Mr. Patuchik.
Thank you, Mayor Mueller, members of the council. Your next regularly scheduled work session is scheduled for Tuesday, the 21st of September, 3 p.m. here in the council chambers. And besides our normal business and update work session, we'll be discussing economic development at that meeting as well. So moving on, we have a number of items and projects to discuss today. First, the fire ladder truck was awarded to Hughes Fire Equipment. The aerial truck will cost just under $1.1 million. And considering the budget is $1.1 million, that's a good thing. So that's where that's at, but it will take 10 months to come in. Second, the EMS substation on the east side of 7th Street next to Tompkins Park has been awarded an amount of $2.956 million. The contracts are signed, and construction is estimated to start next week, so that will be on time as well. I attended this week a meeting of the Rate Review Advisory Board, which is the solid waste advisory board of city managers in the county that I chair, and I'm pleased to report that financially the system is doing well and that no tipping fee increases will be recommended this fiscal year. This morning I attended the CCOM Joint Powers Authority board meeting, And the board determined to move ahead with a review and changes to the intergovernmental agreement and bylaws that we have with the county and the other subscribers, and Ms. Yarborough will be leading that effort on our behalf. Of course, any changes will have to come to the council for approval. This morning, I also signed the MOU to begin the Better Bucks program with the Better Bucks group, so that should be starting very soon. So we budgeted $10,000 to help kick that off, and we'll be moving quickly on that. And then some good news on property closings. Both the Kings Court and the Roadrunner Park property with the school district have both closed now and are now property of the city. And that's all I have tonight. Thank you, Mayor.
Roadrunner Park.
Oh,
is
Roadrunner
part of
Park.
the- Is part of the city, but
Roadrunner, yeah.
but the other was now in
A
private
school
hands.
district park, yes.
Okay, all right.
Thanks for the correction.
Any other questions?
Just clarification, so on Kings Court, we no longer
We
own
no longer
No
have.
longer on it.
Kings Court, but we acquired Roadrunner,
Yes.
right?
That's-
Okay. I just wanted to make sure, I thought I heard it something
That was
different.
Sorry about
that
that.
was my comment.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, we got rid of it.
Chuck, I'm trying to remember what you said, it was 2.9 or 3.2 for the fire station?
2.9.
2.9. We
And
had
we
a
have a
conversation
grant of-
earlier about, that's probably gonna be the high end, and we're looking to make sure that
That's the
we.
guaranteed maximum price.
That's the maximum, okay, so it should, hopefully it'll come in under that.
And of course, we have a $1.4 million grant through the Defense Department to assist us with that as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's something we need to watch very carefully. Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Patuchik on his report?
None.
Discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll go on to item number 2, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the consent agenda consisting of the regular city council meeting minutes of August 12th, 2021, and resolution 2021-058 designating the city of Sierra Vista as the official destination marketing organization for the city of Sierra Vista be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments, questions, or discussion on these two items? We did get a good briefing during the work session on these and answered a couple minor questions. Seeing nobody raising their hand, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. We now move on to public hearing items. Item number 3, Mrs. Humphrey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that Resolution 2021-059, an application for a location/owner transfer limited liability company, Series 7 liquor license for Kerry Leroy Brown on behalf of Bash Enterprises, LLC, doing business as Urban Axe Yard, be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Adams, may we have the staff report, please?
Mayor Mueller, members of council, the application before you, as noted, is for the transfer of a Series 7, which is a beer and wine bar liquor license, to 3758 East Fry for the Urban Axe Yard. The notice of this public hearing per statute was posted on the facility. We originally posted the public hearing for your second meeting in August, but due to that cancellation, we reposted to this date, so all of the posting was done appropriately. No comments from the public, pro or con, have been received as far as this liquor license being approved or not. The police department has done their background check as required and has no objection to this moving forward. Mr. Brown could not be here tonight, but his partner, Mr. Vishant Hirani, is with us tonight. If you have any questions about this unique opportunity that is coming our way. And if approved tonight, it will be returned to the state tomorrow for final action.
Thank you, Mrs. Adams. Any questions for Mrs. Adams? Any further discussion or questions?
I just comment that I'm
Comment.
actually really happy to see this come in. This is throwing axes, and that whole business model is something I've been meaning to visit in another town, so now I don't have to. I'll be able to do it here, which makes me happy. So I'm really glad they're bringing it in.
And they have leagues you can join too, so we'd have our own little league and have some fun.
Perfect.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Again, it's unanimous. Thank you very much. We now move on to item 4, Mrs. Gray.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that Resolution 2021-060, Declaration of Intent for the Increase of Sewer Connection Fees and declaring a 30-day public record be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Felix, may we have the staff report, please?
Mayor, members of council, that is actually not the one that's supposed to be on here. The public record was on the last one. This is supposed to be the approval of the rate increase.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what is in the packet.
Well, it was read correctly, so the way the motion should have been stated was approval
Correct, approval of the proposed rate increase.
of the rate increase, not the way it's written. Can I get somebody to restate the motion for us?
I can do that. So just to say, I move to approve.
Move to approve.
Okay.
The increase in sewer connection fees.
Canceled.
And do we need a 30-day period,
Yeah,
Jill?
we're doing a clarification over
No,
here.
you already
No,
did
we
that.
did the
We
30.
did do a
60-day
30-day.
public
So
This
notice
is the
on
actual
June
approval.
17th.
Okay, so can we redo the motion?
Sure. Okay, so I move that Resolution 2021-060,
Proposed increase.
proposed increase of sewer connection fees be approved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Everybody understands where we're at?
Yeah.
Okay, David, go ahead.
Now, to help clarify what was going on, back on June 17th timeframe, you approved a resolution to declare a 60-day public record for proposed sewer connection fee increases. These are only to the sewer connection fees, no other fees. The city established sewer connection fees actually before even Chuck's time here, and they've been upgraded over time. Back in 2009, we made a fundamental change to the idea of the sewer system. Prior to 2009, the connection fee was only for the sewer plant, and various developers had to construct interceptors, and then we had the fun of trying to track those connections and then refund the developer as people connected to it. In 2009, there was a fundamental shift that the plant and all of the interceptors were the system, and then people were buying into the system, and we are paying the developers back over time as the sewer fund can afford to do that. Arizona state statutes under section 9500 of the code is very specific on the steps that a municipality must take to increase sewer, wastewater, and water fees. We've done the first one, which is declared public record of 60 days. There's been on record with the city clerk cash flow analysis to show the effect of this increase on there. The reason for the increase is there's been no adjustment to these connection fees since 2009. And as we all know from our EMS substation, construction costs over the past 12 years have gone up substantially. The proposed rate increase takes what should be in effect now and where they should be at now, but phases it in over a 3-year period with about a 20% per year increase to get us where we should be. These increases are based off the Arizona Construction Cost Index from 2009 to 2021. So this will actually, your action here will approve, and then they'll go into effect on November 1st, because that will be the more than 30 days for the ordinance or the resolution to take effect, and it's a nice clean break on a month for the first of the month to make it easy on staff and developers to figure out when to get their plans in. Be happy to answer any questions you may have.
And the other thing we forget again is it's a cost to anybody hooking up.
A new home hooking up.
A new person or building
Correct.
hooking into the system, and it's not an additional cost for those who are already
Current
in the
resident
system.
will pay, no current homeowner would pay this. It is only to new home construction.
Yes, sir.
And
Okay.
new commercial and any other person connecting to our system.
Any other comments or questions, discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much, David. We now move on to new business. Item number 5, Mr. Benning.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that Resolution 2021-061, official intent to be reimbursed for certain capital expenditures, be approved.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Felix, may we have the staff report, please?
Mayor, members of council, this is one of our steps and kind of in the budget process. As you know, during the budget process, we plan on financing certain items, but to save the city money and to give flexibility, we do not do the financing until the end of the year, to the May-June timeframe. The IRS does require that if we finance something more than 30 days after we purchase it, that prior to the purchase, we pass this type of resolution that shows intent to reimburse. Examples of why we do this are if we do need to finance it at the end of the year, we can. If the rates are similar to the way they were this last June at 1.3%, you almost want to finance it because that's a great rate to get and keep the money in the bank and invest it otherwise. But it does not require us to. Last year, we only financed 2 refuse trucks and did not finance anything else, which is also why we do not do the financing at the beginning of the year, because then you're paying interest on something you haven't received yet. And like in the case of the refuse trucks, you've been paying interest on them for more than a year, and the interest rate will be more than you'd earn on putting that in an investment anywhere. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Felix. Questions? Comments? Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much, Mr. Felix. We now go to item number 6. Dr. Landry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that Resolution 2021-062, authorization for the city manager to execute a memorandum of understanding with the Bureau of Land Management, Fort Huachuca, and Cochise County concerning water and ecological conservation be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Patuchik, would you make your presentation, please?
Sure. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, this particular resolution authorizes me to enter into a memorandum of understanding on your behalf with 4 partners, or 3 other partners, the Bureau of Land Management, Fort Huachuca, and Cochise County, for the purposes of supporting the Bureau of Land Management's Resource Management Plan, which was approved in 2019. Discussions and negotiations regarding this agreement are rather groundbreaking and have taken place over the past number of years, meeting on a regular basis with the various parties. Basically, there are 2 primary components to this agreement. One is a way to define or recognize and evaluate the condition of the river over 14 reaches, and to determine whether or not any of those 14 reaches are in some measure of distress. If that is determined to be the case, then a meeting of the 4 entities to get together to discuss possible mitigation solutions or projects that may attempt to rectify the situation on those reaches would then occur. This particular agreement does not commit the city to any funds or anything like that, but mainly commits us to working together cooperatively with the other partners in this agreement to try and find meaningful solutions for the river as we move forward. I think this gives us a lot of leverage, or at least a seat at the table in the event of future discussions. As you know, we're still waiting for the Gila River adjudication to occur, which could result in potential litigation or other mandates from the federal government. Hopefully this can stave this off, or some of this off, although this is not, I want to reiterate, this is not a settlement agreement with the BLM regarding the adjudication. Nonetheless, I think it helps us move forward. It gives recognition to the parties that also the city, besides supporting the efforts on the river, this also supports our local economy and our ability to develop in the future in an orderly fashion. And I think that's really the main thing for us, and recognizes and supports the viability of Fort Huachuca in the future as well. In attendance tonight is Ms. Sarah Ransom, who is our water environmental attorney. She's here to answer any potential legal questions you might have. And Mr. Ryan Fitzgerald is also here from representing Fort Huachuca and can answer any questions on their behalf as well. So anyway, we appreciate your approval of this item today or tonight, because I think it's a very important one for the community.
Because this was a legal issue, we did have I'll let the public know, we did have a work session, executive session this week to go through a lot of the details. And I just want to thank Ms. Ransom and Chuck for their work over several years now in trying to get this done. And again, as I will emphasize, does not commit us to do anything really but talk, discuss, and try to come up with future solutions if they're practical. And should we engage, once we get ready to engage in those, some of those actions may have to come back for council for either financial approval or other things. So it's not a
Blank check.
blank check for anybody. And we need to continue to monitor the issues along the river. And this is a way for us to be involved with the other three major agencies. So with that being said, any further questions, discussions? Yes, ma'am.
I don't. You answered all my questions on Tuesday, Sarah, and thank you for coming again today. I wanted to thank you as well, and Chuck already mentioned it, but I'm really grateful all the hard work that went into this. The MOU providing a plan that includes mutual goals for all of us, acknowledging that more opportunities, the continued economic growth needed, and mentioning the missions on Fort Huachuca and having to secure that by making sure we're in compliance with the Endangered Species Act. So I just want to thank you again, and I didn't have any questions after Tuesday.
Well, that was,
really
I
thorough.
think you hit on one of the most important components right there, is that, it just left my mind.
Economic development, Mr. Mayor.
They recognized the federal government and is recognized that there is an economic benefit to ensuring Sierra Vista, Fort Huachuca, and the county are still economically viable.
Right, that's what I'm trying
And
to
that's
say.
the first time I've seen that in a document from an Interior Department agency, so that's a good thing. Okay, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to reiterate the same concept, the economic viability of Sierra Vista, and everyone seeing that and having it and working together. And I want to thank Sarah, because you kind of made the road clear on Tuesday, so I really appreciate your expertise and your guidance on Tuesday. And I want to thank the Fort for coming up and supporting this and for what y'all are going to do also. So thank you so much.
Mayor Pro Tem.
So I just have a comment, and to echo what's been said before is thank you, and I'm really happy to see this agreement. I think the first step in being able to solve any issues and come up with solutions and mutual agreement is to be able to sit at the table and talk to each other in a civilized manner. And so I'm really happy to see this. Thank you. I'm actually really jealous because you are fantastic, Sarah, at explaining issues and just walking it through step by step. So I was jealous of the new council members who got to have you as teaching them these things. But so thank you, and thank you to Chuck for everything that y'all have done and work on this, and to the Fort as well.
Well, I think it's important too that we're having discussions in a non-litigious
Yes.
environment, okay? And that's what we hope to avoid, any litigation, additional costs, and potential damage to the area. Okay? So, any other questions? I'll call for the question. All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. We now move on to call to the public, and we have one lady by the name of Janet Wilcox from the Hummingbird Stitchers. And this is one of my favorite groups. At Art in the Park, they always talk me into buying tickets with the promise that I'm going to win the quilt. And I'm still waiting for the quilt, but I'm still forking over the money. They're so persuasive.
I'm winning it.
And the quilts are so beautiful, I can't help myself.
Thank you for that kind song. Doesn't matter. I bet I have a loud enough voice anyway. I'm here tonight to introduce the council and basically members of Sierra Vista to the concept that we think will help raise visibility in the West End and increase tourism. This last week, I sent, I believe, most of you a copy of the presentation tonight. So I'm just going to, real quick, I'm a member of the Quilt Guild. We've been in existence since 1978, and we produce quilts for anybody that needs them. We're a nonprofit organization, and last year was a banner year. We couldn't do anything except quilt, and we gave away 541 quilts. And that includes the oncology centers, dialysis, foster care, WIC program, just about every organization we can think of in Cochise County. Or if somebody's been burned out with a fire, we've donated quilts to them. We have looked throughout this last year as we've watched the West End being discussed and what's going to go on, and we think that we have a concept that would increase our visibility, increase the West End visibility, and increase tourism. If you're from the Midwest or you know somebody from the Midwest, you might be familiar with barn quilts. They started out on barns in the early 2000s with a woman that wanted to honor her mother with a particular quilt block design. Well, we don't have too many barns around here, especially down in the West End. So we're adapting a quilt block that can be made out of a variety of materials, comes in a variety of sizes, and we hope to encourage the businesses and vacant walls to mount one of the quilts. A quilt trail can be 5 blocks, or there's one in New York that I think's got to be the winner, and that's over 330. It takes over the whole county. And I don't know if they've got 330 barns, but they have 330 quilts displayed in their county. I think that would be a tremendous asset in Cochise County. That's for the future. We're starting small on the West End, and basically I have examples, and I will be meeting with business owners, and we hope to promote this. I know that the desired end for the finish of the project is December, probably January, some people are saying. We hope to have something up on the walls before then.
Okay.
And that's essentially what I wanted to say.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you bringing this opportunity to us. The project that you mentioned, the first phase ends probably January. But again, we have North Garden as well, and we have the rest of Fry to 6th or 7th Street, depending on what the plan works out. But there's a whole stretch that needs public art, and that's what this is.
This is public art, and we envision a business owner can either join a workshop, of which the Guild will be holding, or they may contribute a donation and the Guild will make a block, or somebody in the Guild will just find a wall. I can think of several myself.
Yes, ma'am.
And ask if they can they can go ahead and put one of the donated blocks on the wall.
And we do have an art in public places program.
Yes.
That's, I'm sure you're aware already, that our Arts Commission deals with. So please talk to them, and they can probably get you pointed to the right support you may need from the city, or there may be maybe they'll go knock on doors with you when you go talk to business owners. Okay, thank you very much. Great idea.
Thank you.
All right, next we'll move on to comments and requests for council. And tonight we'll start with Dr. Landry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So there's lots of things going on this weekend, and I wanted just to kind of touch a little bit on the animal shelter. It's one of my favorite places. So this Saturday from noon to 4 is Rambo's Rummage Sale. It's going to be at the animal shelter here in town, and all the proceeds will go to the Friends of the Sierra Vista Animal Shelter. And so that organization helps to cover the cost for spay and neuter clinics. in the Sierra Vista and the surrounding area. So if you can stop out there and check it out. Bonus points if you bring any kind of donation there. Monetary donations are always welcome. Food, there's a list of things that you can bring. Extra bonus points if you bring something of everything there. So just go ahead and check it out. And there's lots of other things going on in town. So check those out for sure too.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Landry. Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to add on things happening this weekend. Obviously, tonight we have a lot of Buena sports, a lot of, so support your student athletes that are out there. Golf, swim, girls volleyball, freshman football, JV football, all today. And then Friday night, first home game in over a year at Buena High School. So go out and support local athletes. Hopefully get another win like we did last week. Animal shelter as well. My class that I'm currently teaching Hopeos, they're doing their class project at the animal shelter at 8 a.m. They'll be out there crushing cans. So there can be a lot of action at the animal shelter this weekend. Wanted to thank Sierra Vista Fire Medical. They had an interesting call this past week involving a tree, right? You would think it's a cat, but no, it was a bear. So Station 202 was responsible, part of that rescue. They got the bear out of the tree, which is not too far from my house. So I want to shout out to Station 202 for everybody involved in that rescue. And there's the annual 9/11 ceremony this weekend at Fire Station 203 over by Buena. Starts at 6 p.m. So whatever you do that day, just pay respect somehow to all the souls that were lost that day. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. We now move to Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to give a shout out and congratulations to our very own college president, Dr. Rottweiler, being named a 2021 Leader of the Year by the Arizona Capital Times. They announced the president of Cochise College and past chairman of the Arizona Community College Coordinating Council. According to the Arizona Capital Times, the award recognizes, and I quote, men, women, and organizations that have contributed greatly to the growth of our state. These are the people and groups that hunker down each day to find ways to improve the quality of life of Arizona citizens. There is going to be award recognition on September 28th, and there will also be a special edition profiling Dr. Rottweiler in the Arizona Capital Times. On Friday, the Huachuca Area Republican Women are doing a fundraising event called an art gala. And what this fundraiser is for their Caring for America program. Now, the Caring for America program donates monies to local charities. In the past, Caring for America has donated every year to the Boys and Girls Club, the Forgash House, Sierra Vista Fire and EMS Toy Drive, St. Vincent de Paul, the USO, Warrior Healing Center, the Nancy Brua Animal Shelter, the Salvation Army, First Assembly of God Food Bank, and Relay for Life. That event will be at the Tandem Restaurant on Friday from 5 to 7. Tickets are $10. You can get them at the door. And there's going to be art for sale as well as a silent auction of art for sale. So it's a cash bar. It'll be hosted hors d'oeuvres, and Bill Perciello will be our entertainment, playing the 88 keys, or how many come on that electronic one he uses. And finally, on Saturday, we have the 9/11 Freedom Fest, sponsored by Warrior Healing Center and Keepers of Liberty. And it's going to be from 10 a.m. in the morning until 10 p.m. at night. The main entertainment will be Don McLean, the fellow that did 50th anniversary of Bye Bye Miss American Pie. The Gatlin brothers are going to be there. I know that's Rachel's favorite. Keith Anderson, he's a country singer. And Trey Taylor, he's the youngest African-American in country music history to perform. So there's going to be a cornhole contest. There's going to be a car thing. There's going to be food trucks and lots of fun. So come on out for that. And it is a fundraiser. Tickets are $40, and you can get them on Eventbrite or at CochiseFreedomFest.com. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mrs. Humphrey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll be at Freedom Fest and the ceremony for the tribute at Fire Station number 3, and I'm looking forward to both. I was just I'm part of Citizens Police Academy, and last night we were all outside talking about how 20 years ago, after that horrific day, we were all very unified, and that Freedom Fest that's being put on is about solidarity and paying tribute, and I think that's really wonderful that those groups are going to bring us together as a community this to honor the over 400 first responders and 3,000 people that were lost that day. And then I wanted to say thank you to Janet for coming out, and really grateful for all the work you've done and your guild. Over the pandemic, I had no idea. Your hands I don't know how my hands would be done. And I love your idea, and I'm really grateful that you're thinking like that in terms of helping us with the West End. And speaking of the West End, I'm so excited. Like, sometimes I just purposely, I don't have to drive down there, but I'm so excited that I'll just go out of my way and like take the long way home. And there's like, I get to, it's like celebrating Christmas every day for me, because I see a new driveway getting poured, and I went to Bunbuku the other night. We walk over there, and we actually had to wait for a table. That's never happened. So thank you to Sierra Vista for supporting the West End during everything. It's all coming together, and it's really exciting. And Oktoberfest is September 17th and 18th at the park at Veterans. Men Who Cook is on September. Everything's in September and October. Let's see. Men Who Cook, September 18th at 5 p.m. at Columbian Hall through the Sierra Vista Symphony Orchestra. The tickets are on Eventbrite. And everything else got mentioned, so I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Upfrey. Mr. Benning.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The spoils are going last. Everything was said. So I'll just read it. So at Friday, 5 to 7, not only can you go and support it, but you have an opportunity to buy 2 priceless paintings donated by yours truly. But yeah, they're not worth it. I only paid it twice in my life. Freedom Fest, come on out. It's going to be a fun time. And I want to thank Pastor Rose for blessing us tonight. And that's it, Mr. Mayor. Because everything else was... Oh, I want to thank Janet. I'm sorry. And I got a birthday coming up. So
His paintings are better than Hunter's, though.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Benning. Mayor Pro Tem Gray.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say also thank you to Janet. I always enjoy seeing the quilts and have seen some that they've donated, and I know they're appreciated. And just like to, I guess, say, Carolyn touched upon it, but with 9/11 and right after, how the country just came together in solidarity, and we were determined to work together and to do what was needed to be done. And with the anniversary of that horrible event coming up, I hope that we can all remember that feeling and try to get back to that civility that we experienced right after that event. And that's all I have.
Okay, well, everything has been said. The Fire Station 3 ceremony on the 11th at 6 o'clock. The Freedom Fest, Oktoberfest in the park. One date I was trying to find that I couldn't find. Normally the Elks Club does their Oktoberfest before we do ours, and I haven't seen anything. So if somebody's got the date and time for that, I would appreciate it, so we can make sure we make that as well. And I'll just close by thanking Mr. Patuchek and our water attorney and all the folks that were involved in the agreement. I think it's going to be a historic agreement for us going forward. And my congratulations for Dr. Rottweiler for well representing our community as usual. So, seeing nothing else before the council, meeting's adjourned.